Welcome to Insights on AllNews Nigeria TV, and I still remain your host, Praise Ganiyu. And yes, Insight is where I talk about any trending issue from various sectors. And yes, today is Sports Day, and today we'll be having a conversation between two sport analysts, Mr. Oladimeji Balogun and Mr. Ridwan Yusuf. Please join me as I make welcome the both of them.
Silva, for example, a very versatile defender, had played in Italy, has played in France, he had won a couple of trophies here and there, and Ben Chilwell is used to EPL, a great left back. Pacey had that compared to Alonso's, is slow and the rest. So I think these guys would hit the ground running. They would have great impact on Chelsea. Chelsea will be very competitive ahead of the season.
Chelsea will be very competitive, but Chelsea will always be Chelsea. They are a great team, they are a top team, but I think for me, I think they will still finish in the same place they finished on the log in the 2019-2020 season, because I think for me it's going to cause a sort of confusion for the head coach Frank Lampard in terms of team selection, because the influx in quote of these players to the English Premier League will give the coach a huge headache, because we have the likes of, yes, Thiago Silva joined for free, yes, and I don't think they sold centre backs before acquiring Thiago Silva
so far, except some few ones like William going to Arsenal.
Yes. And of course, William is not a defender. So the likes of Kai Havertz, Hakim Ziyech, yes, wonderful players, but I think the pressure will now be very much on Frank Lampard, because he has to deliver this coming season.
Quickly, just to round it up, yes, I strongly agree with you. The influx of players will really affect them. They will have issue with team selection. But I only believe this makes the team more competitive, because when you have several players competing for a role, you have Giroud, Tammy Abraham, and this guy Timo Werner contesting for the centre forward. You don't get to lose a clean chance.
Don't forget the fact that these guys are coming from a different climate entirely, because most of them are coming from a foreign league.
Yeah, Germany and the rest.
Yeah, most of them are coming from either the German Bundesliga or the French league. The only one coming in, joining from a fellow EPL,
yeah, is Ben Chilwell,
the defender. So it's always hard adapting to the EPL if you are not a top quality player, if you are not a genius like the likes of Lionel Messi, especially. So it will always be tough adapting to a new league and just getting into action that way. So for me, I think it will be hard for them to manage that team. Especially, I just think they tried to make up for their inability to sign players last season, because they had this ban on transfer ban. So now that they are open to signing players, they felt, okay, let us accumulate these signings once and for all.
No problem.
Yes, James' imminent arrival at the Goodison Park is impressive. For me personally, I'm a huge fan of Rodriguez, because right from the Brazil 2014 World Cup, he was sensational. I had high hopes about him, because he really was outstanding at that tournament. So, but 6 years after, he has not really lived up to that Marquee label, because right after the World Cup, he signed for Real Madrid. He was a big name signing that time. Joined this present Everton coach, Carlo Ancelotti, the same man who signed him at Bayern Munich as well. So he has had they've had two-time relationship. And Ancelotti brought out the best in him in the two stints they have together. So yes, Rodriguez is a fantastic player. It's good for him, and Everton are making a huge statement, because to sign a big player, he's still a big player. It's because Rodriguez is still pursued by the likes of Manchester United, if I'm not mistaken. So he's still a big player, even though at Real Madrid he didn't really live up to that tag of raise his game to the level of the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo and probably Karim Benzema. But him coming to a coach who really trusts him, when you have a coach who trusts you, when you have an employer who trusts you, of course you have to give your best. And they already have, Ancelotti is his mentor, is one of his mentors. So that fantastic relationship with them will hopefully help him thrive at England.
I no much reservation about that. I agree with most of the things he said, and he will even play well, because if you look at Everton, the club is coming into, they are not really much developed when it comes to the midfield. We can start mentioning 2-3 midfields that could even compare to James Rodriguez status as a player. So he would fit into the club, and as I said, he's coming to meet a familiar face. Ancelotti, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, they were together. The other guy that is coming to with is Haaland. That guy too is from Napoli. That guy is a very strong defensive midfield. They can easily play well. Arsenal is already competitive. As you said, they defeated Liverpool in the Community Shield. They defeated Chelsea in the FA Cup some few weeks ago. Mikel Arteta is really getting the formation, the passing play. They've retained some good names too. Willian, nice signing for them. Mkhitaryan, I think it's time they let go of that guy. He has done enough for them. He will do well in Roma. So they are good. They are very, very good. Except the only thing for them now is wings. Arsenal problem several years till now, they don't have good wings. Okay, Nicolas Pepe is trying, down that right flank. Willian would still bring some play into the right, but Willian is old too. They need young, agile, versatile, well-running right wing or left wingers. People that could really split into a defense and tear it open. Those are how top teams play. But yes, I think very well they'll be competitive in the next season, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, for me, yes, Arsenal made a huge statement with especially the FA Cup win, where they defeated the likes of Manchester City and Chelsea, if I'm not mistaken, to scoop the cup. So they made a huge statement with that, and coupled with the fact that they defeated Liverpool in the Community Shield, that they won these matches convincingly, even though probably they didn't dominate possession, they won convincingly. I think Arsenal's problem has always been a mental problem. It's the kind of mentality they have, because one as a top team, top teams have this winning mentality. They have the mentality of going for trophies, and I think that has been lacking in Arsenal, especially post Arsene Wenger period. Even during Arsene Wenger period, we've had some Arsenal players who bemoan the fact that this club, they question the mentality of the club, the football club. For example, when Robin Van Persie was captain of Arsenal, one of the reasons he left Arsenal for Manchester United is because he felt the club was not really at the mental level he was, because he felt this is a club where he's giving his all and they are not really going for the trophies, the big trophy, the major trophies. So he felt, okay, let me switch teams. And he saw, when he switched to Man U, he said it's like he's leaving a team of boys for a team of men. So when he joined the Manchester United dressing room and he met the likes of Patrice Evra, Rio Ferdinand, even though they might not be world class in code, they might not be world class, but in terms of leadership, in terms of mental strength, these guys have it. So compared to the fact that you are at a club where you suffer losses and you still joke around. So he felt when he joined Manchester United, you lose a match, even if you lose a match to, say, an Everton, they are very sad in the dressing room, because they know the worth of winning. Winning means so much to them. So, like I said, Arsenal's problem has always been a mental problem. They have to change their mentality. And I think, for me, I give kudos to Mikel Arteta for doing a great job in terms of that, because prior to the Community Shield, he did emphasize that he wants to win this trophy, even though it's not really a major trophy, it's a minor trophy. He says he wants to win, and they went for the trophy, they won it. So that's the kind of mentality top team.
Ridwan, just to look at the mentality. For me, I think the mentality is still kind of abstract. Let's focus on the tactics that he used. You know, Arsenal right from time like playing the tiki-taka style, holding possession and all. They still do that. But if you look at the way they do it, for example, look at that goal Aubameyang scored against Liverpool. It was a build-up from the back. So, and that is what Arteta has brought to this team. But for me, I just believe they have it already now. But they still need some top, like you say, mentality now. Some top players with those mentality to implement.
I think I agree on that, because if you look at their signing itself, they are signing the players coming in. For me, I can only point to probably Willian as a guy who has that mentality of a top team, because I cannot call the Lille guy Gabriel. I cannot say we cannot label him a top player
so far,
because he only showcases himself in the Ligue 1 and showcasing himself with the likes of Depay and co. So now he's coming to, of course. So Willian for me, I may be a sentimental in this analysis, because in terms of regarding Willian, because for me, I think Willian was wrong to have joined Arsenal.
Okay, you should have joined Manchester United.
Should have joined Manchester United, because joining Arsenal and you call yourself a big player, a player who wants to go for the trophy, you cannot expect Lionel Messi to sign for Arsenal now. I think he left probably because he has won everything needed to win at Barcelona. So he achieved his dream of playing for probably the biggest club side in the world in this era. So of course he won the Champions League, he won the FIFA Club World Cup. So everything any player dream of winning, he won it at Barcelona. So, and he was formerly captain of Sevilla. The club is now rejoining. So he knows the terrain, he knows the club, even though they are not. They should be playing Champions League now because they won the Europa League, but they've not been consistent in appearing or featuring in the UEFA Champions League. So he has his heart set at two clubs, Barcelona and Sevilla. If I'm not mistaken, Juventus were after him. They were on his trail. He probably snubbed them. I don't know. So I believe he followed his heart by rejoining Sevilla.
Some of the things Ridwan already made mention of. His heart was set on Sevilla. He played in Sevilla, he was captain. He won the Europa League with them as a captain. Even when they won the Europa League this last time with against Inter Milan, we saw an Instagram video where he was actually jumping inside the pool. Whereas some days ago, his own team lost 8-2 to Bayern Munich. So you should be sad. But that means he was happy for his old club, but was sad for his new club. So and let's leave all that sentiment aside. Let's talk of what Barcelona even needed to do. Barcelona, that 8-2 was the end of an era for me. So they had to flush out some players like Rakitic, for example. That midfield is too much. Rakitic, Vidal, Busquets, all those guys are old, aged legs. They need to bring in new legs. De Jong, Ricky Pug, all these new guys. Pjanic, all those guys. Even I still regard Pjanic as old, but you still cough up 2-3 years of playing time. But Barcelona needed to really offload those guys.
Well, never say never in football, but I think Messi's decision to leave Barcelona is out of frustration. But I think the stakeholders can still be able to convince him to stay. If they can be able to, they can still be, because they are not. Barcelona is unwilling to let him leave. So of course his heart is set away from Barcelona, but yet the club is not. It's one thing for you to have. You want to leave, but the club is not willing to release you. Just like I think De Gea, when Real Madrid were really after him. You know, there was a season Manchester United was unwilling to sell him, but there was one season they wanted to sell him until the fax machine issue that disrupted the transfer. So they can still be able to convince him to stay, even though it is out of frustration he wants to leave Barcelona. The organization is frustrated with the organization of the club, so he wants to leave. So he will be warmly welcome at Manchester United. So let him come.
God, it will be a very huge loss, a bad impact, morale's down. If you look at it, most players are not talking about, most Barcelona players are not talking about it, because you can walk onto the pitch with this guy and be like, even if I play rubbish, even if I score an own goal against my team, this guy would score 2 for me. So, but let's talk of even La Liga as a whole. La Liga has lost 2 of their faces. Ronaldo is gone. Now Messi is going to EPL. EPL is already a popular team. Now you are going there to even add more to their popularity.
I think in terms of both on the playing field and outside the playing field, it has a really great effect and great impact on the Spanish league, because for me personally, since Ronaldo left Real Madrid, I can't remember sitting down full 90 minutes to watch the El Clasico. I can't remember. Because I always anticipate the battle between Ronaldo is one who carries this thing on his head, so he wants to that battle between myself and Messi. But since he left, who is that? So we know they have Benzema, they have this. So I watched, but I didn't watch full 90 minutes. So imagine Messi leaving, who is the face of Barcelona, but the El Clasico. So its viewership globally will be affected. Then on the club. In the past 2 seasons, for me, Barcelona have not been exceptional. Yes. Messi has been the standout player. He has been the player who has been changing the games. Even during Valverde's time, when Barcelona were not playing well, Messi is the sole changer of that game. He has probably they have just this free kick from the edge of the box, and the free kick to him is like penalty.
Alright guys, that will be all for today. Thank you for joining me on another beautiful episode of Insights on AllNews Nigeria TV. And I still remain your host, Praise Ganiyu. Do well to drop your comments on all of the issues discussed here, and of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos. See you next time.